Okay, so at this point, you guys are ready. You've written your code, and either in absolute or in relative. The code that we're going to be working with today in this particular video is relative. I don't want to focus on that too much because that's not really the point of it, is relative versus absolute. The point is just to show you how to get from your coding sheet, the kind of the template that helps you write your first code, into the software that runs the actual milling machine. So you do need this, but I'm going to put this away. I'm going to get rid of it, and we don't really need, I'm not going to show you how to type it out. But what I am going to do is show you that I did type it out, and I typed it out here. Okay, so I wrote out the letter A code in this document. Okay, so when you open up CNC Motion, the first thing that you're going to have to do to get the machine to actually work is home the machine. Okay, and so homing the machine, you go up here where the little home button is, and you hit home. Okay, and you say home, and then it might pop up with an error, and it says unable to continue until the shield is closed. And you might have noticed that I opened the shield at first because I actually wanted this error so that when you run into it, you'll know what it means. To close the shield is this little button over here. We close it, and this is the same stuff that you're going to be using on the actual milling machine. This is a simulation of it. It's the simulation, and it works pretty well. So everything is pretty much the same. So once we close it, we're ready to move on from our error, and so we can press F5, or we can hit the little green play button. Okay, and so now what homing means is that it's actually finding itself in space. So it's figuring out how far it can travel in any given direction and where the part is in space relative to what relative to where we're going to tell it to start from. Okay, now that we've homed it, we're ready to find 0, 0. Okay, so in your planning guide, you'll notice that 0, 0 was in the lower left-hand corner. Okay, so we're going to tell our drill bit, we're going to press this little guy up here, send tool to corner. We're going to go to the corner here, and we're going to see our drill go to that corner. That is 0, 0. So for it to actually be 0, 0, we have to tell the machine where it's actually at. So you're going to, after you click this guy, you send it to its corner, and then you hit setup, set position, and this new position is 0, 0, 0. And you just type 0, 0, 0 in there. I've already done it, so it popped up zeros. And then you hit OK. So now we know, now it knows where it is in space and where you want it to actually work from. Okay, so we just set 0, 0, 0. Okay, now that you've set the zeros, you've typed in your code here. You'll notice that my code has all of the comments in it. You use the comments with the little semicolon. You are actually ready to mill your part. So once you have everything set up, I like to, let's run it as if you're going to run it on the machine. So we're going to hit play. Okay, it's asking us what program we want to run, and it matches with our letter A relative. And we hit the start and run program. And you can watch, you do need to watch the machine when you're using it. And so now we have, it's waiting for us to do input. It says insert tool 1. Well, I see tool 1 already in there. So we can either hit F5 or play to continue. So we can hit play to continue. And then we watch it mill the machine. So if we look over here at this little window, we can actually see our part working. Okay, see the milling machine working and where it's traveling. So it's going up now, and then it's going to go over, back down, and then across. Okay, and then I ended my program correctly. I don't know if you guys saw it at the end of the video, the last video. You do need to write your correct end of it. So my last 3 lines are to the home position, stop the spindle, and then end the program. And this, along with a snip of your code, is what you're going to turn in. Okay, so you're going to turn in, obviously you have 3 letters. I only did 1 letter. You don't need to sit and watch 3 letters be milled. It's the same thing for yours. You just have more letters on there. You'll take a snip of this. So you go to the snipping tool, and then you'll turn in a snip of your code so I can read that you wrote your code. I can see that you have your comments in there. Remember, no comments, no grade. And then your simulated milled block, and that's really what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm looking for those two